Hi everyone, this vlog is on the subject of rules and regulations. First point, it sounds like a disclaimer, of course. Rules and regulations are important and necessary for survival instincts. Rules and regulations are important to ensure civilization, which is completely fine. That is why we have a constitution in place. So nothing wrong with rules and regulations. But with this vlog, I feel and I think that there is one point which is also very important to be known, understood, and then implemented if at all we can. Because implementing it may help us reach in a better version of ourselves and also experience life in a more realistic way. Rules and regulations are here to help us, and we have made it, or we have made them. Nature also has rules and regulations, but they function in a very different way. Plus, they have a very different kind of impact on each life form, including us. But man-made rules and regulations function in a very different way, and it has very different impact on us as human beings. Now, taking this vlog forward, the point here is that we have had rules and regulations for anything and everything under the sun. After having this, ensuring that it is addressed, implemented, and experienced by each human life to the bare minimum of survival instinct satisfaction or meeting the survival instinct. That means our rules and regulations have their primary goal as survival. This is normal, this is human, there is nothing wrong with this. But when we take things forward or a little higher, things start changing, or they should change. Why and how? Rules and regulations simply ensure survival, but as you go higher, survival is now no more needed because survival is already there. It is already getting addressed, it is already getting satisfied. Now, we need higher experiences of life. But when we go into higher experiences of life, our man-made rules and regulations may not help us anymore. For example, we have made rules and regulations for education. Now, education is such a vast field that every life form adapts to change, adapts to learning in a very different way. Now here, rules and regulations may not be applicable to everybody at the same ratio possible. We have rules and regulations for success. We have rules and regulations for human connections. We have rules and regulations for relationships. We have rules and regulations for marriages. Now, when we talk about all these higher phenomena of mentality or psychology or emotional well-being, your survival instinct friendly rules and regulations may not be applicable here. Why? Because when we talk about higher dimensions, those higher dimensions should be lived and experienced through maturity and understanding. Please understand, rules and regulations do not need maturity or understanding. We have to become mature and we have to cultivate understanding through rules and regulations. But if we are doing something at our work, in our relationships, just because there is a rule or there is a regulation or there is a norm, then whatever we are doing, thinking or feeling won't have any spine to it. It won't have any base. It won't have any authenticity, because what we are doing, whatever we think or feel or want to do, behave, is just existing because we think there is a rule or there is a regulation. It is not coming out of our understanding. It is not coming out of our maturity. It is not coming out of our attentiveness or alertness or awareness. It is a byproduct of our understanding of norms, rules, and regulations. Imagine, what kind of a person would you like to interact with under any title? If that person is interacting with you only based on rules and regulations, or would you like a person to interact with you under any title with alertness, attentiveness, maturity, understanding, free will, and choices? Think about this. Become alert, aware, more mature, cultivate understanding through rules and regulations. But rules and regulations are only required when we do not have maturity and we do not have understanding. If we cultivate understanding, if we cultivate maturity, we may not need to follow rules and regulations because we are already mature enough, we are already having that understanding necessary and in a required way for each subjects that our understanding or our maturity itself speaks or helps us experience life. And as we are experiencing life in a certain way, everything and everybody around experiences us in that mature state. Think about it. Take care.